Hey. It's Monday, night at 8 p.m., which means it's time for another episode of FM Rager. I'm your host, Connor Clifton, joined as always by my lovely co-host, Ned Gale. Ned, how the heck are you?
Yo, what's going on? I'm doing great. You know, Connor, it's not only Monday night, but it's also a spring break.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. I'm loving those jams.
It's spring break, everyone. That's why we have these. You're not wearing your thing.
I didn't put it on yet. I forgot I wanted to kind of like reveal it, but we didn't talk about that beforehand.
No,
I love what you got going on.
You threw it on me. I had no idea we were doing a spring break bit. But yep, it's spring break.
I said spring break like 3 times. I've been Googling spring break for 10 minutes.
What are these, marijuana leaves?
Yeah, this is from our 420 or 311 episode. It's anybody's game at that point.
Yeah, it's spring break, everyone. What are y'all doing for spring break? How are you enjoying your spring break? See, Sleepy Liam in the chat. Hey, Sleepy. Like I told you, he's only watching the show today because I gave him the business on Twitter.
That song's already over here.
Oh, Terrible Trim's here, too. He said he has Bezos on speed dial, and we should stick to the script. Wow.
Interesting.
So if you say spring break in the mirror 3 times, you get to clap.
Hell yeah. Well, how about we clap some drinks, bud?
All right.
Wait, I can't. No, up here. Not those drinks. Gross. These.
Whole lot of capitalism. That's what he did today on spring break. Yeah. I woke up and then saw a notification had to come through. Well, we're glad you're here, Sleepy Liam. Friend of the show, Aleem. Sleepy Liam. Thank you so much for being here. What's going on with all these gifts, man? You got a
Sorry,
bunch.
man. I'm just like setting up the spring break vibe. Like, I'm on the vibe right now. You know what I mean?
It's okay. Well, let's talk about spring break. We're a party show.
Yeah.
Should we talk about how our freaking weekend was?
Yeah, let's talk about our freaking
we
weekend.
actually had a freaking weekend.
Yeah.
Saturday night after dinner, Ned and I are just sitting around the house. We're bored out of our minds, and Ned says, "Can we go get ice cream?" So we decide, all right.
I didn't say, "Can we get some ice cream?" I said, "Connor, we have to get ice cream. I want it."
That's true. That's what he said. He really wanted ice cream. We drove around. We noticed the city was packed to the gills with people.
Realized it was spring break.
It was spring break. The mask mandate had been lifted. Every place is at full occupancy, full capacity. It was a little nuts. It was a little overwhelming. We drove around trying to find a good ice cream spot. And then once we had the ice cream, we decided, we didn't want to go home. So we called friend of the show, Billy, and we told him, we're coming over. We're going to pick you up, get in the car. We're going to go find a place to drink. We tried going to a bar that we know and love, but it was packed.
So packed.
So packed.
So scary. I felt like a big man. I was like, I'm going to get a drink out on a patio. I'm gonna, drink on a Friday night on spring break.
Yeah.
And no, the second I saw the bar, I was terrified.
Now,
I was like,
Now, remember, I've been vaccinated, and Ned,
I'm on my mid-vac.
You're on your mid-vac,
Yeah.
so we're in the process of getting vaccinated.
Pfizer phase 1.
We're feeling a little brave, but not brave enough that we're going to go to a packed bar.
No.
So we decide, all right, you, me, Billy, let's go to Alabama Ice House, which was huge. Nobody was there. And PJ's. Man, it was so nice to go to PJ's.
One person without a mask there, but they were dead asleep just in the corner of the patio, and I felt okay with that.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. The adrenaline was coursing through our veins from just like 2 drinks. Slowly.
Yeah, I was going to say the next day, I was trying to figure out why I felt so hungover. And I think it was the adrenaline of purchasing a beer, not at a gas station at like 10 p.m.
Yeah.
It was good. It
Just
felt
sitting on
great.
the patio.
That's all the raging I can do this year. I'm done.
You've hit your cap?
Yeah, I've hit my cap. I'll hit it right now. No, I'm kidding. But if I was a cat, I'd probably treat that hat like that, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. Let's see. Did PJ wear a mask? No.
Yeah.
No, he did not wear a mask. Neither did the guy who was asleep. And nobody at Alabama Ice House wore a mask either, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't have gone out.
Do I recommend those locations? Maybe not.
You know, we're going to be talking about this show's theme today is going to be about stuff that we probably shouldn't have done.
That we
can either
flubbed
get
on.
to it now or we can get to it later. We've got 14 minutes.
Yeah, we got 14 minutes to kill, so let's talk a little bit about
Spring break.
spring break, but what that usually means for us. There's a certain holiday that falls on spring break.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about wearing green, and it's all about pinchy and nothing else. Not about drinking, not about
the Irish.
the Irish.
Or anything else for that matter. Can we cut the song?
Wait, you don't like this?
I'm getting distracted. And
It feels like we're on a Girls Gone Wild
I'm-
commercial at like 9 p.m. on fucking Comedy Central.
guys, Nana's asleep. Let's go watch Comedy Central.
Oh, man, the Insight commercial.
Oh, man, they're playing Saturday Night Live. Hopefully the commercials will come soon. All right. So, yeah. Terrible Trim already knows what this is about. Look, Wednesday is the day that you all know and love, Snake Diaspora Day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Let me, there we go.
It was this time last year that everything started to get canceled. And not, for old tweets.
Yeah, not... Not like some of your favorite characters in Space Jam, but
Oh no. So in any case, Snake Diaspora Day is coming up, and this time last year we had a big plan. We were going to host Grown Up Story Time together. We were so excited. I know you all were too, and it didn't happen.
yeah. And we did. Now Connor and I are famous for the amount of prep work we do for things. We're always showing up with several blueprints of jokes we're going to tell later on in the show. We usually have bits, call forwards, call backs planned out months ahead of time. And this was no exception. We actually went out of our way, and it works out because this year is the 10-year anniversary. We printed these kind of early, but
Yeah, we were gearing up for something.
this year is actually the 10-year anniversary of Snake Diaspora Day.
Now, Ned, why don't you? Should I hold that up to the camera there?
Yeah, sure. Let me get these clinking drinks out of the way. I know they're cheerful, but they're in the way. So let's get that design going. Let me move my beer here. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go.
Wow.
So for all you snakeheads, this is a must-have shirt. The Snake Diaspora Day 10-year strong shirt. As you can see, there's someone frightened by it, and the snake's just having a good time wearing his specs and just enjoying himself.
That's right. This is the shirt that we have.
Someone's asking if this is an NFT. This is not a non-fit tee. This tee will fit. I can confirm that right now.
Yeah, we have several sizes.
Yeah.
We made a bunch. We kind of balled out on these, expecting to make a mint.
No, actually, there are only 10. So put in your orders now. They are limited quality. You should definitely panic buy. Don't take time to consider how much is in your Venmo account.
Send them in to us privately that you want one. We don't want anyone getting jealous of you that you were one of the 10.
Yeah. But you will be celebrated.
Pulling a Nintendo on us, I see.
I never wear a shirt if I have to Google a word on it. I agree.
What, Snake? No, it's Haunted Fortress. Happy. I get you, buddy.
Aw.
So yeah, we're gonna be selling those shirts. How much are we selling them for?
What are we saying? A solid 10?
Solid 10.
Fuck it. Yeah, let's make the money back at least.
$10. Send it to our Venmo at Effin Rager.
Tell us what size you want.
If it sells out, we will refund your money.
Yes, of course. We have smalls, medium, larges, and extra larges, I believe. Maybe we should have checked that stock before we...
Like we did all of the prep work for the show when in these shirts from a year ago.
Yeah, I'm assuming me in March 1st, 2020... was like, this will be a reasonable amount of sizes to choose. So, I mean, they're great. We printed them in-house in the Effin Mansion, the old Effin Mansion. So this is a piece of history at this point.
Now, we haven't seen any of our friends, so hopefully none of y'all have changed in size, because we did buy the amount of shirts based on who we thought would buy them.
Yeah, we went through our Rolodex of all our friends of the show and just, no.
But that was such a fun day. That was such a fun time. Shout out to a friend of the show, Maria,
NFT
for
shirt.
helping us print all these and helping us make all these. It's always fun to print a shirt.
But of course, this holiday is coming up on Wednesday. So we're going to be taking over Nick's Wednesday night Rager stream,
which we have not talked to Nick about.
We haven't mentioned this to him. We haven't flied it by him or anything. It's Nick, this is how you find out if you're watching. And if
Yeah.
you're not watching, you're fired.
Yeah, part of the job. Oh yeah, Ned's gonna deliver all the T-shirts tomorrow.
Huh?
Nah, we'll find a way to get
No,
them
that's
to you.
true. Hey, you know what? Yeah, I'll deliver some shirts out so you can have the shirt for Wednesday so you could celebrate in proper fashion.
Yeah, and send us selfies of you wearing them to celebrate for Wednesday.
Yeah, with hashtag snake selfie.
Yeah.
No, with hashtag selfie.
Selfie.
Yeah.
There you go. I don't know why professional shows make this seem so easy or so difficult. Man, I'm fucked up. This is horrible. I had a long day.
I woke up this morning super early and then just started editing that Monster Musume show.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where you're having a cup of coffee and editing like a big tittied snake girl. And you're like, this day's going to be long.
I had to watch a lot of what's it called? Bunch of girls playing a band, but they're in school. Girl in school band.
You cannot nail it. That could be Bang Dream. That could be K-On. That could be
K-On.
Music Girl 6. That could be Anonymous Sound. Noise. Anonymous Noise.
I watched K-On. Great animation. Very, very cool. I actually really enjoyed it. But, scrolling for metadata.
Oh,
is always-
Sleepy Lames knows.
Yeah. Wow, everybody knows.
K-On's the best. Cute.
Yeah, but that was really fun, just going through all the episodes and finding specific frames.
Commercial breaks.
So after about 11, I was just staring at the computer. I'm like, oh man, I need to take a fucking walk. And I stepped outside, and humidity had come, and I'm like, no, and I went right back in.
Man, I took a bike ride today.
Yeah,
Soon as the sun
chat
came
is-
out, what's up? Is they K-On crazy?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the chat is going fucking nuts when we are talking about anime. Maybe we should talk about our jobs a little bit more often.
No,
Where
I'd
can we
rather
skirt?
not.
Where can we skirt? What we're allowed to talk about.
Yeah. I think we have to talk to our HR department before we talk too much about it.
Sorry to interrupt you. You were saying
I forgot.
something about metadata or watching anime over and over and over.
Oh, well, speaking of music, musical girl shows, they're not really in school, but we have a title called AKB48. Are you familiar with this? Have you seen this? Have you heard this?
No.
So AKB48 in Japan is like the franchise of pop idol groups. The guy's idea was that he was going to build a theater, and AKB48 is like how many girls are in the pop idol team, but there's different like segments of them. So Team A performs on Monday, Team B performs on Tuesday. The idea is that it's like pop idols constantly going. But they have an anime called AKB 0048. And that's where in the distant future, music is outlawed. No one can enjoy themselves or dance until AKB 0048 comes from the heavens and blesses us with rock and roll. It's good.
I like that plot. I like that plot a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
boy.
we should do an Effin Rager 30XX or something where we bring partying back once it's outlawed.
Yes, by the villainous Lena Hidalgo. Just kidding. Y'all know where we stand on this. We're big fans. Yeah, let's not make that movie. Let's make that movie like 10 years after COVID. If we're still doing the show in 10 years, that's what we're going to make. Haunted Fortress, why do they always ban rock in the future? Ned, I think you can feel this one.
Oh, yeah, because at this point, Dwayne The Rock Johnson has gotten too powerful, so anything relating to The Rock has to be banned. He can't have any competition. No, I don't know. It's a rebellious music. What are you angry about this answer? What do you want?
What? So they ban everything. Are there non-rebellious music? I guess like propaganda music?
Yeah,
praise music.
Yeah, praise music. Well, that's actually the most propagandist. No.
Yeah, there's an argument for that. Look, all the talk about propaganda, some of the stuff we're going to talk about last week, we'll get to that in a sec. But before we do, Ned, we've got 4 minutes. Quick spring break wrap up.
Oh, okay.
Do you have any spring break plans?
I'm going to wrap myself up in some sunscreen. Connor, I'm using SPF 80 these days, really worried about my scaly skin. No, Spring break plans. I'd like to go to the beach, but I might wait till after spring break to do that.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be full of people not wearing masks on the beach.
Yeah, I think I'm going to continue to work from home.
Oh, nice.
I'll be in the office probably tomorrow, honestly.
Cool.
Unless I'm delivering shirts.
I'm going to watch Snyder Cut.
Oh yeah, we're doing that this weekend.
Yeah.
We are. I want to announce this now. Sorry. I want to announce this now. We are buying a new TV, and I'm very excited about it.
We are getting a new TV. It's going to be awesome. We watched Justice League Whedon Cut last week. We're probably going to watch Batman vs. Superman Extended Cut this week, and then we're going to be watching Snyder Cut this weekend. It's going to suck.
And then at some point, I'll sneak in a Criterion movie or something.
Armageddon or RoboCop or...
Yeah.
Is Joker Criterion?
I'm good. I would watch Joker Cop. So like a cop dies in the line of fighting, and they bring him back as a Joker, and he has to fight because Jokers usually aren't cops. This is actually really good. I'm thinking about this right now.
You're right.
Yeah,
cops can be Jokers that we've seen by propaganda television.
that's true. Yeah,
But Jokers.
oh, yeah. Didn't we just lose a Joker?
Did we?
Art Aceveto's leaving.
Oh, Art Aceveto's leaving. That's right. If y'all need a new TV, hit me up. I have a Costco card.
Interesting.
Okay.
We were planning on just going to get it on the stream, but this is good too.
Yeah, we were going to go. Okay. Well, before we go on to bringing in our guest, let's talk about last week.
Yeah.
So we canceled our show last week to boycott Amazon as part of a boycott against Amazon to support the Amazon workers in Bessemer, Alabama, who are attempting to unionize right now. And it may have been a Amazon manufactured operation. The whole boycott may have been just like put together by Amazon. It came to our attention on Wednesday when we were trying to figure out what to say for Nick's show. And when Nick and I were doing research, we're like, oh, wait, this might actually have been a scam. It fucking sucked. This is our Eating Crow segment of the show. Don't get used to it.
Man, I wish we had a yum, yum, yum sound. Surely we have something here. How about this one?
This Babu Frick sound clip has been brought to you by Nick Merriweather.
So we fucked up basically. And your guest today, I'm pretty excited. I really like this person's work. They've been on the show before, and they're going to talk to us about propaganda, opposition stuff to unions, and how you can really see that stuff. Because we blew it, and we're embarrassed, and we may have done more harm to the fight to unionize in Bessemer, Alabama than we realized. So we're just going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have your guest.
Bye.
Okay. All right, we're back. All right. If you're a longtime fan of this show, which I know everyone in the chat is, then you have seen this guest before. Last year when we talked about community journalism, self-reporting, and root vegetables. So please give a warm welcome for the return of Sam Oser, the unconventional journalist. Hey, Sam, how are you doing?
Hey, guys. I'm doing well. How are y'all?
We're doing all right. We were just telling our audience that we what happened and how we totally have egg on our face and we fell for this fake boycott of Amazon. And we wanted to ask you, because you were one of the Instagram profiles that brought it to my attention. And I wanted to ask you if you could give us some details on what exactly happened.
Right. So first of all, I just want to say I definitely fell for it too. I think a lot of people did because this is common tactics. So I'm just going to dive right into it, not minimizing y'all, just moving y'all over. So basically what happened is there was a small, little known activist group called the Leftist Unification Party. They had organized the boycott. And it was weird because some of the organizers were like, they have like fake progressive energy. They've only been around since January. So this group seemingly randomly popped up and did this boycott. Slate, where I read this and shared it and whatnot, they reached out to the Leftist Unification Party and said, like, who are y'all? Are you working for Amazon? Like, who are you guys? And they said that they were just a small group getting their stuff and organizing going, and they thought that that would be helpful to the movement. But the boycotts can play into the anti-union talking point among executives that collective bargaining units end up hurting the company and making the workplace more fractious. So it ultimately hurt them. And the Leftist Unification Party saying, like, hey, we're just a small group. We're just getting started. Like, sorry, we didn't actually know. But they're like some crazy history around that. And so, I mean, we could try to give them the benefit of the doubt that they are actually a small organizing group trying to do good. But our U.S. history really slants the other way. So I don't know if we want to go ahead and dive into that or if you have any questions before we do.
Do you have any questions about the LUP? No. Did you look into like so when I was reading up on this guy Chris LaGrange, he wrote the big boycott post UCOM, and he said that he got that image that was going around from somebody in the Leftist Unification Party named Zorak, a known antagonistic cartoon character, which was very that grabbed my attention immediately when I saw that. But yeah, that was the only thing I really had that you didn't talk about. So if you,
That's
please.
Hilarious. Okay, so we're going to go back to an article, an archive article from 1975 from the New York Times. The headline is Ex-Operative Says He Worked for FBI to Disrupt Political Activities Up to 1974. So in this article, he talks mostly about his work with COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program that happened to counter civil rights movements and largely the Black Panther Party. His name was Joseph A. Burton, and he told the New York Times back in 1975 that he carried out a lot of bullshit things, bogus documents.
Oh, you're cutting out there a little bit, Sam.
Yeah.
Oh man, did we lose Sam? No.
Wait, I think she's
Performance, revolutionary.
Ah, crap.
Oops. No, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I see you guys.
Sorry, you just were like
You
really.
see me, I see you.
Yes.
Yes,
Now you're
it was
back.
you, yeah.
You were cutting in and out there.
Okay.
The moment you started listing what COINTELPRO started doing.
Yes, that happens. The YouTube status quo media outlet that I work with, we have over 108,000 subscribers, but get like 79 views. And it gets bad, particularly bad when we talk about things like this. But you guys can hear me. We're all good.
Yeah.
What was the last thing you guys heard me say?
You said, and that was COINTELPRO, which did such thing or did horrible things such as, and then which,
Literally after such as.
yeah, very very strange. Wow.
Did we lose you again? What is this?
Oh man.
Yeah, this is un
Our chat is calling this out as being very suspicious. Yes, I can see you and hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I just want everybody to know that this is a normal thing. I mean, I know it doesn't feel or seem normal, but literally every time we talk about these things with social media, this happens every time. Okay, so I'm going to try revolutionary front groups and infiltrating labor unions along with executives. So, in this article, which you can find and you can Google, its ex-operative says he worked for FBI to disrupt political activities up to 74. He details how the FBI gave him money, resources, and everything to put up a fake revolutionary group. So there is a chance that this left unification party is a front group. There is definitely a chance. I would love to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they are a young company, but or a young organization. But considering that Amazon messed with the traffic lights last year, did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazon messed with the traffic lights last year to make it to where union organizers were stopped in traffic and couldn't get to the workers who were leaving. I would not be surprised if leftist unification party is a front. There's no way we can actually know until we get declassified documents, but that's about where we're at right now. Do you have any questions, or should I go back even further into history before we come back to the present?
Man, I would love to learn more.
Yeah.
It is no joke. Anytime you're not talking about like a direct action that was taken, your connection is fine. And the moment
flawless. The second you started talking about the traffic lights, it started breaking up again. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Ooh.
it's real scary shit, y'all. Like, but anyway. All right, so okay, so we could go back to like the 1800s, where like there was hold on a second. So like there was this one in 1877 where the Great Railroad Strike happened, and the strike spreads to other states, and state militias are mobilized, and several bloody clashes happened. There's another one in 1914 where the Colorado National Guard was deployed on Union workers in Colorado and fuel company to attack a tent housing 1,200 coal miners striking for union recognition. More than 20 people, including two women and 11 children, were killed in that government clash in 1914. And then there was another one, basically like a lot of people died leading up to 1933. So 1933, Franklin D. Roosevelt signed a National Industrial Recovery Act telling people that they could join a union. But from that time on, there's still union shit. Like people going crazy. In 1952, there was a steel worker strike But President Harry Truman told the Secretary of Commerce to seize everything and continue operating the steel mills so that they could have defense production for the Korean War. It turns out that was illegal by the U.S. Supreme Court, but like they didn't actually get in trouble. So this is where it gets really fun, where we go back to this interview from 1975 with Joseph Burton, the ex-CIA operative. So in 1974, a mine supervisor at Duke Power Company shoots and kills a striking miner during a clash following efforts to recruit mining. And oh, wrong one. Sorry, 1970. The United Farm Workers happened, and there was a large strike. And it is rumored that the bomb explosion that happened came from a rival union competing to represent the farm workers. So, like, they did this. Yeah, right. They did this COINTELPRO program during this time. This guy, he does his interview in 1975 saying that they were infiltrating labor unions and such. And in 1970, a bomb explodes at a union. And there's a rumor that it came from a rival union to represent more farm workers. What the hell is that? You know?
Yeah.
So this is like, and the history that I'm pulling this from is pbs.org, American Experience. And there's just so much on labor movement. And like, as you go through the labor movement, especially once we no longer have segregation, it just becomes more and more racist too, as it goes on. It's just great. So I'm going to pull us up, or well, before I pull us up to the 2000s, do you guys have any questions?
Yes, I have a question. I also see Sleepy Leams had the same question. How do rival unions even happen? Is rival unions...
Yeah, was that a common occurrence for that rumor to
No,
be able to spread easily?
That's anti-union propaganda that started in the 1970s and really started pulling speed in the 1980s under the Reagan administration. Because how can we keep people from uprising, keep them divided, right? That's why racism keeps us divided, right? That's why the media loves millennial versus boomer conversations. That's why they're now trying to pit us against Gen Z, right? Because the more division there is, the less likely there'll be actual organizing. And that's just the same sort of thing that they took with the union stuff. And were there good unions and were there bad unions? Of course, right? Some people did shady things. Everything's shady in some respect. But they would take these examples and really just amplify them. And in activists, even, we activists have drama amongst like petty things. But whoever's in there really takes it and amplifies it to be like, see, we can't have anything nice. This is why you shouldn't organize. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to fast forward a little bit in time. So after the Cold War, there was a lot of government agent employees, FBI, CIA, NSA, who were unemployed. So they started professional associations to gain foothold in the private sector. They were multinational. The multinational companies hired these government-trained intelligence experts to focus on collecting sensitive information on corporate competitors. But eventually, that turned into corporate spying on employees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the popular reality TV show, Undercover Boss, that's now just a cool pop culture thing that we do, too.
It's
fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the most mind-boggling example of that is Walmart has a global information team. That's what they call it. Why the fuck does Walmart have a global... Walmart has a global information security team.
Ugh.
Why do they have a global information security team? Walmart's in the U.S.
Jeez.
but they have 400 people in this intelligence unit. And as an example, in 2006, the unit infiltrated the community organizing group Acorn and a small Arkansas activist group called Up Against the Wall. These were people trying to organize unions within Walmart, and the security team that Walmart had hired infiltrated them and attended meetings, were in hot mics, and followed activists and surveillance fans. They only know about this because former employees leaked the information.
Jeez.
So that is in this information that I'm giving you to is from Jacobin magazine. They have a whole bunch of information on corporate spying, and they actually link to the examples, right? So like sometimes when you read about things, and I'll talk about that a little bit later when we talk about like debunking propaganda and like how to navigate it. But my personal favorite one in 2009, Chevron tried to enlist a journalist named Mary Kudehe. I can't pronounce her name. But basically what they were doing in Ecuador, Chevron, there was a lot of oil spills happening in Ecuador, and Chevron wanted to know what was happening on the ground. So if there was any organizing or anything happening over there, they would be the first ones to know about it, so they could come up with PR tactics to immediately squash it or do other means. So they went to this journalist named Mary Kudehe, or just call her Mary. And they asked her, like, hey, could you please, we'll pay you to go to Ecuador and ask these people questions, and these are the things we need to know. And they wanted her because since she was a real journalist, so if citizens groups did an internet search, they could, see that she was actually a journalist.
She has a background, yeah.
She has a background in everything. She turned it down and she wrote about it in The Atlantic. She said no, but a lot of journalists say yes. And a lot of journalists that we see, Anderson Cooper, hate that guy. He's actually ex-FBI operative.
Wait, hang on a second. Did you say Anderson Cooper was an ex-FBI operative?
Yeah. Here, I'm going to double. It was FBI or CIA. Anderson Cooper, ex-FBI operative. Yeah. He was an ex-FBI agent. You can Google that.
Huh.
Oh, shit.
Fuck. I did not know that.
Oh.
So, like, it really just, it's all connected. So now I want to give you an even scarier example. Yep. Sorry. Can you hear me? Everything good?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're Googling.
We had to immediately look it up.
I have to see it.
Yeah. We couldn't. Like,
not that I don't believe you. It's like, huh?
It's just so weird to think one of the Vanderbilts could be
CIA.
involved in some shady shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no. He was CIA. My bad. Not FBI. I scrolled down a little bit more. I was like, oh, CIA.
Which is more fucked up.
Yeah, much scarier.
Yeah. So going a little bit deeper, it's like, okay, so we have these corporations that hire ex-government spooks. What is an example of like an actual security firm doing work? So Standing Rock, we're all very familiar with Standing Rock. Mm-hmm. A security firm called Tiger Swan was hired to infiltrate the indigenous encampment there. So Red Fawn Fallis, she's a very popular activist. She got arrested and beat up by the cops and arrested. It turned out her boyfriend was the infiltrator and was from Tiger Swan. And like, the way they just like insert themselves and become part of the movement is very unnerving because whenever she got arrested, whenever they were pinning her down, she didn't have any guns on her or anything. But then somehow, randomly, a gun just happened to show up on her person. And they used that to put her in jail.
Jesus.
But Tiger Swan is like, they they're the ones that really come to my mind because I remember when Standing Rock was happening and all this information about Tiger Swan and Red Fawn Phallus was coming out about like her fucking boyfriend, and it was a complete shock. And then especially for people who were there on the ground, there were some people who were like, "Oh, I had always known there was something wrong with that boy," but sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah. Damn, that's so fucked up. We have
Yeah.
we have a listener comment here where someone says that they worked for a union-backed community organization and we constantly got FBI and Republican operative. It was obvious who they were because they were always white men from out of state and kept pitching violence. So.
That actually brings up a good point. So if you're in the activist community, first of all, I highly encourage you to watch Judas and the Black Messiah that recently came out because it's all about the guy who betrayed Fred Hampton and the tactics that he was told to do to make Fred Hampton go down, right? And violence very much is one of them. If you're organizing with activists and someone says, "Let's make a Molotov cocktail," like just all willy-nilly without like just anything, it's a super red flag. Or like, let's throw a brick into this window, or just anything like that. Even if they've been around for a while in the activist community, as soon as they mention violence, that is such a huge red flag. Something I've noticed too, just in my own experience, and I'm not an activist, I'm an independent journalist. Journalism is my activism. And something that I've noticed is, you know how you can follow the money and you can see who's doing what and whatever in this plutocracy that we live in. In activist circles, you can follow the drama. Follow the drama. When you pinpoint, when you finally figure out like who's causing the drama, that's the person you need to be wary of because more than likely they are dividing groups. And in a lot of cases, given my place and time right now, I can't name names, but there's a particular person where everywhere they go, they break up activist groups. And and once you see it, you can't unsee it. But follow the drama, even if like they're not being violent. Like sometimes they don't always have to be violent. Just follow the drama, and I promise you, you'll find your little FBI agent.
Wow. Dang. I'm going to hire you as like an FBI or CIA agent hunter one day.
Well, so like I remember the first time this one I can speak to. It was before I was a journalist. I was a cannabis activist for Houston Normal, and it was my first time working a booth at it was like a music art festival. It was called Houston Underground at the time. I don't know what
yeah.
it's called now. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
can't remember the
by
spot.
the little bodega.
Yeah.
But I was a cannabis activist at the time. I'd set up my booth. It was the very first thing. This guy walks up to me, this white guy, tall white guy with very shiny shoes, but dressed with theme otherwise. He comes up to me, no pleasantries or anything, and he goes, "So, do you get your drugs from the cartel?" And I was like, "What?" And I was like, and like I was such a baby liberal. Like I tell you, like I thought Obama was still great. I was still a fan of Hillary Clinton. Like I was very much I didn't know these things. And I was like, "Sir, I don't know what you're talking about. Like the cartel's like in Mexico. Do you want to learn how we can work together to legalize weed? and then and then he was like, I mean, I guess. And I was like, okay. So
Sure.
I gave him a little bit of a spiel, and he was like, well, do you know anybody who works with the cartel? I was like,
First
this
day on the
motherfucker-
job.
Yeah, really.
And like he would not get off the cartel, and eventually he realized I was oblivious because trust me, I fucking was. It wasn't until 3 years later that I realized this guy was a fucking like informant. Um, but like that's just I don't know. You learn as you go who's who, and it's really disturbing.
Jeez. Now we're running a little close to the end of the show here, so let's. Did you want to bring it back to the modern day and what's going on right now, or how do you want to?
Oh, so the modern day was was the Standing Rock and the
Standing
stuff
Rock.
that happened
Yep.
in
Great.
the 2000s. And then with Amazon, I mean, so how can you tell what's propaganda and what's not? So earlier I was mentioning how like Jacobin magazine actually had links for you to see examples of things happening. Whenever you're reading through news, my favorite one is the whole Russia gate. You know, Russia's influencing our elections. If you go through any CNN article, through any MSNBC article, and click on the links, it just takes you to more articles. It doesn't take you to proof at any point. One time I had 100 tabs open and I did not get to proof. At one point, it was like going through the woods and I ended up at the same article.
It's a choose your own adventure with no end.
No end. And like that for me is a real tell sign. Like it, you know, if you can't give me proof and documentation with what you're saying, journalistically, they taught me in journalist school, your claims are not correct. There's a lot of times New York Times did have to retract their stories on Russia, but nothing of it was publicized that they had to retract it, that they were wrong. It was just kind of swept under the rug. But journalistically, whatever you claim, you have to have proof for. It's basically like being a lawyer or an academic. And if they don't have proof with whatever they're saying, then be wary. As far as how to navigate like these fake boycotts and fake organizations, honestly, I'm still learning that shit too. Like
Yeah.
I've gone back through history and you know I've obviously read like some Angela Davis and read through Black Panther reports and like their interviews, and there's some common denominators that remain the same, right? Calls for violence, calls for division, and that's like pretty much it. Like those two seem to be the same from then to now. But other than that, I really don't know how to tell you like if this is a fake boycott or not.
Yeah.
Because even like as we're talking, this leftist unification party that we're talking about who started the boycott, they're a small group. They popped up in January and they have everybody and they have all the resources to prove that they are a smart group. But are they really?
I followed up on them and I actually read all of their Twitter feed because let's see here, they started their Twitter in December of 2020 and their first tweet was January 27th of 2021. And I read everything they did. And whenever people started to come at them for what their boycott did and the potential consequences it could have on the union in Bessemer, they were very combative. They accused anyone against them of being a capitalist. They have yet to apologize for any... even if they're like, hey, look, there's never a bad reason to boycott Jeff Bezos, but we apologize. None of that stuff. It's very, like you said, divisive rhetoric that is making these like leftist boycott supporters look like they're actually bad for the workers. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's really fucked up. And I think I thought about this a lot over the week and weekend and the day of, and while I don't know how to stop it, I guess what we can really do is to just like go to the source, because the union didn't endorse this boycott. And I guess if we just asked them like, well, what do you want us to do? Do you need money? Do you want us to share your thing? But that's all I got.
That's exactly it. And that goes for any. So, like, for example, I'm like a white, straight woman. That goes for any level of privilege you have. If you're trying to help this union, you go to the source of the union. If you're trying to help Black Lives Matter, you go to the source of the organizing. If you're trying to help LGBT movement, you go to the source of the organizing. Because that and like in this case, this isn't like a race thing or LGBT thing. This is a class issue, and class issue affects all of the other intersections. I'm not saying that it doesn't, but this one in particular, you really have to accept that we don't live in a democracy. We live in a plutocracy where the oligarchs own and hoard all of the wealth and use it to manipulate things. Amazon manipulated traffic lights. And once you're really able to accept that, then you can see how this is really a class issue and is class warfare, and how they're manipulating our own language of like, you're a capitalist and you're doing this and whatever to further divide. And I think that's just a really important thing keep in mind.
Yeah. Now we're getting close to the end of the show. No, that's great. We're getting close to the end of the show here, but before we let you get into that theme, that last song, I wanted to ask you, how is your root garden going? How is your wildflower garden going?
Terrible. The winter storm fucked everything.
I should have thought about that.
Right when you asked, I was like, oh no.
No, it's okay. My wildflower garden survived for the most part. A lot of them are wiped out, but they'll come back. Wildflowers are absolutely chaotic. So they will be fine. I was actually starting a chaos garden. That's what I was calling it. Because last year I got some chaos tomatoes on accident.
Ooh.
I was weeding the backyard and I found some tomatoes growing. And I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. That sucker yielded me 15 tomatoes.
Holy shit, that is chaos.
Wow. That's great. Congrats.
So about 3 weeks before the winter storm, I was like, you know what? If those tomatoes could do it, I'm just going to throw out seeds and see what the fuck happens. So I threw out okra, I threw out broccoli, I threw out tomato, I threw out potato. Like, I just threw out all the seeds. Yeah. And I was like, I'll identify it as the leaves come in. I'll figure it out. But then the winter storm killed everything. But on the bright side, my husband built me a planter, and he's going to build me another planter. So I won't have a chaos garden. I'll have an organized garden, which I guess will be better. And then we're looking at getting chickens.
Hey, very cool. We talked about doing that with our neighbors, and it was just something we talked about when we were drunk around the fire. We never did it.
Yeah, no. So he was talking about it, and I was adamantly against it. And then he told me I could name them after the Golden Girls.
Hey.
I was like, I can name these little hens after the Golden Girls. Okay, you sold me. Fuck. He knows me too well.
That's great. All right, well, let's get into this final song. Do you remember it? Do you remember the words from the last time you were on it?
I'm sure it's all you've been thinking about. Well, here it is.
I'm sorry, it's really
I want a new plug.
Tell us what's going on. Tell us all the stuff you're doing
after we sing this song.
All right, Sam, would you like to plug your social media outlet or anything that you're doing?
Oh, yeah, sure thing. So social media outlet at Sam the Mullet. That is usable on all social media, even on Clubhouse, if you're on Clubhouse, at Sam the Mullet.
Okay.
anything that I'm doing next weekend, I'm going to be interviewing residents for a rent strike that's happening in Houston.
hell yeah.
It's really messed up, and I think it's the first rent strike in Texas related to the pandemic. I'm still getting confirmation on that, but I really do think it's the first organized rent strike in Texas that's pandemic related.
My gosh. All right. That's going to be awesome. I'm very excited to read and hear more about that. Okay. Ned, do you have anything to plug?
At Net of the Dead on everything. Nothing coming up that I can think of. Just tune in on Wednesday for Snake Diaspora Day
for
celebration.
The Snake Diaspora Day stream. I'm at Cryptocurrency on everything. Make sure you follow us. Sam, thank you so much for coming back onto the show. This was amazing. I'm very sorry that the government was interrupting our internet while we were communicating. That was so fucking weird. I'm going to be thinking about it all night. It's a good thing I canonically don't smoke weed, so I will not get paranoid about it.
Yeah, so it couldn't possibly bother me later.
Man, dude, last night I was doing like review of everything, and like I thought I was desensitized enough. I was like, I'll smoke a joint, brush up on my research, and as I was smoking, it was just, it turns out I'm not desensitized. It turns out it's still unsettling. I was like,
well, on that note, I'll just read off something that someone said in the chat. I do not know the cartels. All right.
Nor do I.
Sam, thank you so much. We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.